In this screencast, I'm going to demonstrate some of the new functionality I've added to the daily syllabus for the theory course I'm teaching this fall. Among other things, this functionality, which discloses notes that I've taken and organized in preparation for the class, helps students to get a better understanding of very complex materials and concepts that we've covered in class. The notes themselves will augment any notes that the students themselves have taken during the discussion and my presentation. Furthermore, these notes emphasize important topics that were in fact covered in class. But the real cherry on the cake is that there is no additional work required of me as an instructor aside from the initial organization and implementation of this functionality through Tinderbox, which I use to maintain and organize my course. So first, a demonstration of the actual functionality. On the daily syllabus website, I've added Javascript links, which basically are notes. And each notes for each assignment corresponds to a hidden div that, once clicked, reveals itself. And the hidden div has a number of notes annotated by page number, and these notes are simply glosses and explanations of material that I hope to cover in class and that in fact were covered in class. At the bottom of each div is, if there are enough notes, there is a link that will take one back to the top of the notes in this particular div. These JavaScript links all work off IDs or element IDs, so they operate independently, and furthermore they are interactive and change their state depending on whether or not the notes are actually disclosed or if they're hidden. The glue, or the mechanism by which I produce this functionality, as I mentioned, doesn't require any additional work on my part, and this is mostly true. In Tinderbox, I have a document, and this document is the means by which I organize and produce my syllabus. If I go to daily syllabus and I go to the second week, the 18th of September, there are two authors that have been assigned, T.S. Eliot and Northrop Frye. And under Northrop Frye, there are a number of notes that I have placed within Tinderbox and organized, and then assigned a significance rating 1 through 5, which results in color coding of certain of the notes. This batch of notes are, there are a total of 34 notes under this particular heading of Northrop Frye's The Archetypes of Literature. But if you'll look under the notes for 18th of September for The Archetypes of Literature, there are only a total of 13 notes. And this is because I have a filter in place that will choose which notes to publish, those which do not merit a high enough significance or which we did not cover in class, or which I perhaps would like to hold in reserve for testing purposes, are not published to the website. And because this is simply an extension of my class preparation, once I publish this to the website, there's no additional functionality, or I'm sorry, there's no additional work for me to do as an instructor. And the great part about it is that my students have this information at their fingertips and may consult it should they so choose. It is of course impossible to cover all these items in a particular meeting at any great length. And so students can visit the site themselves and corroborate and augment their own notes by looking at this material. In another screencast, I would love to show how, in fact, this Tinderbox document is arranged and organized, but that would be a much more lengthy screencast, and so I won't do so now. This concludes the screencast, just showing some of the possibilities that faculty in the humanities in particular might use and put to use information assistive software such as Tinderbox.